Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Hoping this video finds you and your family healthy and in good cheer. I wanted to share with you a little meme that somebody sent me recently on a text about this coming Shabbos. They read the Parsha of Vayakel Pekude this Shabbos. And the meme said, this Shabbat, March 21st, will be the very first time in the 71-year history of the state of Israel, which will not have any transportation, theaters, restaurants, sports, and malls. Nothing will be open on the holy Sabbath. Everything is shut. What's the first topic of this week's Parsha? The meme continues. Moshe assembles all the people of Israel and talks to them about keeping the Shabbat. We're an ironic people. And in fact, there's an irony in the Parsha this week, in that it opens up with these first two verses speaking about the observance of Shabbat and Moses gathering together the people, telling them that they must observe the Shabbat as a day of no work, and as the Lord observes Shabbat, so do we. This is juxtaposed with the rest of the Parsha, which deals entirely with the building of the Mishkan, this mobile sanctuary that's brought by Bnei Yisrael everywhere they go until they get to the land of Israel. It becomes a prototype for the temple. The rabbis understood that this juxtaposition between the laws of Shabbat and the building of the Mishkan are encoded instructions for how we're supposed to observe the Shabbat, the type of work that we're not allowed to engage in. And in all that work, all the different types of work that we're not supposed to do, the main message is that this work is creative work, and we're supposed to take one day a week in order to back away from all that creation, all that creative work that we do over the course of the week, in order to remember that we are not the ultimate creators. God is the one who creates the world. We are simply partners in God's creation. Rabbi Yadin Steinsaltz, in a beautiful little commentary in the Parsha, speaks about this first Shabbos in creation. He says, this first Shabbat was not just the sheer suspension of creation. Its significance was the summation, looking back on the creation, finding its spiritual and meaningful content, and making it possible to raise another entire enterprise to a higher level. Only after a period of rest could work and creation be renewed in the second week, which was the week of man. Steinsaltz speaks of the creation that man will engage in from this point forward. It reminds me a little bit about my days in art school, when the instructors would tell the students in the painting class that it's how important it is to step back from the canvas. You know, you're working very close in with the canvas, and you're making sure that the colors are right and your line is right and your shading is right, but you need to step back periodically from the canvas and look to see how the colors are juxtaposed, see the relationships between those colors, see how they affect one another, see how line and form can create shadow. You have to be able to step back in order to see those types of details. If you're looking too close in, you won't be able to see it. And in addition to that, you need to step back in order to be able to see perspective, to check your perspective, to be sure that you're ready that your horizon is straight, and be sure that your lines are straight, and be sure that everything is in its right place. And finally, many artists feel that they need to be able to step back from the painting for a few minutes in order to be able to look at it fresh. And sometimes it takes more than a few minutes. Sometimes it takes a few hours or days, and sometimes artists will step back from the canvas for a few years before they get back to it in order to be able to see it with fresh eyes. Our lives are that canvas, and Shabbat is our time to step away from the canvas to get the big picture, to look at the big picture of our lives, make sure that all the creative work that we're engaged in all week long, everything that we're doing over the course of the week, we're doing it for the right reasons. Remember why we started to do that work, what's important to us about that work. And we also need to look at the relationships in our lives with our family, with those people who are close to us, with our work friends, with our friends outside of work, and make sure that those relationships are balanced and are wholesome. And we need to make sure that we have the right perspective on our lives too, and make sure that our horizons are set straight, and that we know what we're doing and why we're doing it. Wishing you a Shabbos that is peaceful, God willing, healthy, and we should all merit the zchut, the privilege to continue to build the world, to partner with God in the creation. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.